And I just love this game. Like, Animal Crossing is so fun. Oh, yep. This is literally the only game. I just got my Switch like 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I love Animal Crossing. It is so fun. And I'm just gonna kind of detail to you all why Animal Crossing is such a great game. And if you've never played, so hey everyone, in today's video, we're gonna be talking about why Animal Crossing New Horizons is not that great. Now, I know that they're going to be doing updates throughout the years for the next 3 years, but there are a lot of features of this game that I just feel like could have been here like now and not having to wait a year or 3. So let's get into it. So the villagers are just really lackluster and just super boring. Like, I just feel like the villagers have no personality and they kind of just walk around like hollow shells of themselves. I had a villager move in, his name was Colton, and Colton was a snooty villager. Colton is snooty, and so I felt like Colton would be super like, you know, snooty with me and whatnot, but he literally says the same thing over and over and over again to now where I just avoid him because I'm just like, you're just gonna say the same thing over and over and over again and you're not gonna entertain me, and so that just like really gets me. And when I was playing Animal Crossing New Leaf, because New Leaf was my first introduction to the series, I felt that like the villagers there were really personable and fun and sassy and spunky. I had Olaf, and Olaf actually asked me, why do rappers call their girlfriends boo or bae or shawty or whatever? And I'll try to find the screenshot because I remember I took a screenshot of it that day and I was just like, bro, like why is a freaking villager asking me about rappers and girlfriends? Like what? Like it was just the funniest thing. And I was just like, like I was just like, bro, like it just felt so different. Like it just felt so different than what the Animal Crossing franchise was, at least from my understanding. Now I know that, you know, the first game, Animal Crossing on GameCube, they said some wild stuff, so it's not that surprising, but it was just funny. But there's nothing like that in New Horizons. Also, villagers used to really be personable with you, so they would ask you for like play dates, like, hey, can I come to your house? Can I come look at it? And they would comment on like how big your house was, and they would for the most part just walk around and comment on a few things, but it felt more personal. And you could go to their house and you'd like set a time, so like at 1 o'clock or like 4 o'clock, we're gonna go hang out. And I actually would schedule my day around that because I'm like, oh, at 4 p.m. I'm gonna go see Ruby, I'm gonna go see Goldie, and it felt like so real, like you were actually like having a true schedule. So you'd like turn off the game and then at 4 o'clock come back, and it was just really fun. And if you missed a play date, they would confront you about it. And so in this game, there's none of that, and I just don't understand why that kind of personal interaction is not in the game. I just think that's really a bummer and it's kind of a letdown. Villagers also ask you to do tasks in New Leaf and previous games, so like asking for apples or bananas or can you catch a fish for me, and they rarely do that in New Horizons. And I remember when I used to play New Leaf, it used to bother me because they did it so often, but now in this game they barely do it. And I felt like it was a really good way to build friendships, to build bonds and everything like that. And in this game, there's barely any. Like I've only been asked to get stuff from my villagers maybe a total of 4 times, and I've been playing the game since May, and I just feel like that's really disappointing because I feel like that was a big part of the game. Like I felt like that was something that was really easy to make you feel like you and your villagers were really friends and like you really were there for them and stuff. But in this game, there's really none of that, and it feels so out of place whenever they do ask. So that's another unfortunate feature. I also feel like villagers just get irritated really easily. Like I feel like after maybe 2 or 3 times of talking to them, they don't want you talking to them anymore. They like try to kick you out the house. I don't know if they did that in previous games, but at least in New Leaf, they seem more willing to talk to you, and it didn't matter how many times you bugged them. But in this game, it just seems like they don't want to hear from you at all. Like it just seems like after 2 or 3 times, they're ready to kick you out, which is so weird. And or they're just like, oh, you're really chatty, or oh, like they say things that kind of sound like, what do you want? And it's just weird because they say the same things over and over again. So I keep talking to them because I want to know if they'll say anything different. Like, duh. So my next section is the buildings. And so first of all, where are they? Why in the Timmy and Tommy's shop, whatever it's called, I don't even remember what it's called, but in Timmy and Tommy's store, you can't really upgrade it. You only upgraded it maybe 2 or 3 times, and there's like a theory out there that the steps that are on like this side of like the Timmy and Tommy's store could be for a future update, but we're almost a year in and we haven't seen that yet. And I know that there's an update coming at the end of January, so they might add other things, but I just feel like that is something that should have been there from the get-go. I mean, the fact that we've been playing for almost a year and we can't really update the store that much, I mean, that was a way to kind of make you want to keep playing because you could unlock stuff. And I just feel like you can't really get a lot of unlockables in this game because there's not much to unlock. And I really liked that the TNT Emporium in New Leaf, and there was Gracie. Now where's Gracie? We're gonna get into that later in the video as well, but she had her store and now there's none of that there. There's also like, there's no Shampoodle, there's no Club LOL. And I get it, like this is an island and it's a different game, but these are kind of features of the game that I found really fun and really personal and really just abundant. It made you feel like there was a lot to the game, you know? So I don't understand why they don't have more upgrading for the Timmy and Tommy store. Also, like, where is the coffee shop? Where is the coffee shop? Like, I understand again that there are other updates, but this coffee shop, like they should have added that update back in like the November update, the December update. Like, why are they gonna wait so long? That was one of my favorite parts of New Leaf, was being able to have coffee with NPCs, being able to serve coffee to my villagers, also being able to drink coffee and have a to-go cup. It felt so personal, and I just don't understand like why they don't have that in this game. And Brewster was awesome. Like, where is Brewster? Like, I just don't understand. Like, that is a big part of the game, and I think they're going to add it soon, but again, why do we have to wait a year for that? That just doesn't really make sense to me. I also liked having the dream suite as well. I know we can dream on our beds, but I liked having the dream suite. The dream suite was really relaxing. Like, it was really zen and relaxing and sweet. And now we don't have any of that. And I think you used to get like 500 bells when you dreamt in New Leaf, and I don't think you get anything for dreaming in New Horizons. And if you do, I'm sorry, but I just haven't played it in a while, so I don't really remember. And the museum. Don't get me wrong, I love the museum. I really love the museum. But my thing is, like, completion isn't as incentivized anymore. Like, for example, you have fossils and you collect up to 70 fossils, but I just felt like you could get them a lot quicker than the other game. You don't get any like recognition for getting fossils. Like, Blather says nothing when you collect them all. And the other thing is the art. Where is Red? Red barely comes around, and I barely have any art in my art part of the museum, and so it just makes me really unmotivated to play. But like I said, on the upside, the museum is beautiful, but I just feel like it's not as fun to complete. And if I'm wrong, you can voice your opinion in the comments, but clearly I'm staying true to what I'm saying because I'm making this video, so yes. Also, the police station, like, I know Copper and Booker didn't add that much to the other games, but they were still fun to have, and Rossetti as well. Like, come on, bro, like, where are all these things? You know, there's just so much to the game that's so hollow, you know? If you've played the previous games, you'll know what I'm talking about. Next, we're going to talk about lack of things to do, and this is going to kind of be a mini section, but this is just something I thought about. Where's the island with the mini games? Where you could go to the island, play mini games, and you could use a different currency to buy tropical items. Where is that? You could play that with your friends, you could play it by yourself when you were bored, and it was really cool, and it added so much more to the game. And I would just, sometimes when I was bored, I would just play the game with the hammer where you had to hit the thing, the little like moving thing with the hammer. Like, it was really fun, and they don't have that in this game. And I think that that was such a crazy feature to not have, or at least wait for years to bring. Like, it doesn't really make sense. Again, why do we have to wait this long? I get that there's some things you want to withhold, but it's like they give you like crumbs. Like the summer update, all they added was swimming. The fall updates were a little better, and that kind of brings me to the events. I don't play the events too much, but I recently played Toy Day and I was kind of underwhelmed by that as well. The Turkey Day was awesome. I love Turkey Day, but the Toy Day was underwhelming. You literally just had all the gifts and just gave them all to your villagers, and they didn't even let you know what your villagers wanted before Toy Day, so you kind of just had to buy whatever, and they were the same toys, like the same like RC helicopter, pop-up book, dollhouse. It was like the same stuff, and it was just kind of like, where's the variety here? You know, again, it did not feel personal. It just felt like I was just doing something because, hey, it's something you do. Same with decorating your island. You had to get recipes. But I don't have a lot of cedar trees on my island. I just never really liked them that much because my island is a city. And so I wanted it to look really city-like, not foresty. So that was a little harder for me, and I just found it tedious to have to create all these things. I was shocked that they weren't selling things, and plus the event didn't start till like the 15th of December. I think it should have started in the beginning of December, but hey, maybe I'm asking for too much. I don't know. Next, we're gonna go into the items. Fruit. There was durian, bananas, mangoes in the old game, and now in this game, all we have is like apples, cherries, pumpkins, which isn't like a tree fruit. All right, y'all, so I'm just realizing that they're missing even more fruit. I didn't realize they were missing the lychees, the persimmons. Like, I totally forgot about all those fruits, so they are looking worse than I thought they were. Wow. Whatever else is there, peaches, like we don't have pears, like we don't have like a lot of the same fruits that the other game had. And I think for a tropical island, you should have mangoes and bananas. Like, why is there just coconut? Like, the rest of the fruits aren't, I wouldn't say tropical. So I don't understand that. Like, that doesn't really make sense. Another item that's missing that I don't see a lot of people talk about is the megaphone, and I loved the megaphone because it was super convenient when you're looking for a villager and you just called out their name if they were outside and you could find them. I played New Leaf a few days ago and I couldn't find Molly, and so I did her on the microphone and found her. And I just think that's like really cool to have, and that's a feature that I don't understand. I don't understand why that's not there. Also, gyroids. Like, where are the gyroids? Like, gyroids were just so fun. Where are the gyroids? I love to sell them, and I love to put them around the island, and I love to put them in my house. There's no gyroids. No fortune cookies, no Nintendo items. Like, all you can get in this game is the Switch. There's no Nintendo items. Where's the Triforce? Where's my Mario Kart? Where are all those items? Where's the Majora's Mask? There's so many things that this game does not have that is upsetting. We also have to talk about the lack of fish and bug spawn. The amount of times I've gotten a sea bass. The amount of times I've gotten to a sea bass when I'm looking for another fish. That doesn't make any sense to me. The citrus longhorn beetle, I think I've caught that a million times. I just don't understand why these things don't spawn enough, and it feels like, again, redundant. Like, it's not fun. And maybe I'm just a Debbie Downer, maybe I'm not persistent enough, but I just feel like that really has dragged my will to play. Yeah. Next, we're going to talk about the NPCs. Where is Phyllis, Pelly, Copper, Booker, Tortimer, Brewster, Gracie, Dr. Shrunk? Like, where are all these other NPCs that made the other games so great? Like, made the other games so fun? Like, I loved Phyllis and Pelly. I just feel like they brought back NPCs that no one really cared about. I mean, I cared about Label, for example, but Label's just always in my plaza, and I never talk to Label, ever. Like, I never talk to Label. I want Gracie. Where's Gracie? Where's Gracie? And even Sadie in the Able Sisters, she doesn't like give as much information like she did before, and it was a lot easier to befriend her in New Horizons than it was in New Leaf. And so that's another part of it too. Yeah, again, the NPCs right now, they're really failing with that. KK Slider needs a club again, not just be in the plaza, and there's a lot more I could say about that, but NPCs are lacking as well. Now the music, we're gonna go into the music. I find the music not that endearing. I love the 10 a.m. and 5 p.m. tunes, but the rest of the tunes I find really lackluster and not fun. I love the tunes in New Leaf, the hourly tunes. I didn't like them a lot at first, but I really adjusted to them and I really liked them, and it fit the time of the day. But in this game, they all kind of just sound similar to each other, and they just don't have that same charm and bounce that the New Leaf music had, and it just seems kind of lazy to me. I honestly feel like the game in some sense just seems a bit lazy. It seemed like they cared more about the look of the game and how you could create your island and decorate your island. And yes, I like to decorate my island, but I'm not that big of a decorator, and like, I don't go as hard for that kind of thing. My island looks like a city, it's not even that great, and I gave up. I'm just not a decorator type of person, and the fact that you have people selling villagers online just goes to show how lackluster the villagers are, because people care more about the looks of the villagers than the actual personalities. Even if you had a villager that wasn't the prettiest, if they were funny, if they were lazy, if they were snarky, you knew that. But now these villagers just have like different personality types, but they all say the same thing, so it doesn't even matter. Like, come on. Like, again, they just really dropped the ball with that. Those are all the things that I kind of had on my list that were problematic with Animal Crossing. I just thought of something else. Multiplayer is also pretty problematic. There's not much to do. That goes without saying. If you've played it, you know what I'm talking about. There's a lot of different problems with Animal Crossing, but those are the ones that I just kind of thought of off the top of my head. And trust me, for anyone that's going to try to defend the game, I understand what you're going to say. I already probably know how you're going to defend it, and trust me, I get you, I hear you, I see you. But I just feel like for a game like this, there needs to be more, like, the updates need more meat to it, and there needs to be more replayability, and there needs to be less emphasis on the looks and more on what made the game great, which was the fun villagers, the fun events, variety of items. Like, not just the Nintendo items, but even the furniture items. See, I'm thinking about more things as I'm trying to end this video. If you also agree with me, leave a comment down below telling me what you think. If you don't agree with me, I'm still welcoming your comment regardless. I'd love to hear what you have to say. If you'd like to see more videos like this, be sure to subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Peace.